Hi students, today we'll discuss about cancer. First, if we go about definition, cancer can be defined as a group of diseases in which the cells of our body starts to grow abnormally and even start to spread into the other parts of the body. Means cancer means nothing but an uncontrollable growth of the cell division. The signs and symptoms of this cancer includes, it may be due to lump, means if we identify any lump in our body, then it is an indication of forming a tumor. And abnormal bleeding, prolonged cough, unexplained weight loss and change in the bowel movements. If we observe any of these signs, then it is an indication that we are prone to get cancer. Cancer can be detected by certain signs and symptoms or by using the screening test, and it is typically further investigated by medical imaging and confirmed by biopsy. Mainly the cell biopsy is the main test for the diagnosis. Biopsy is nothing but a process of examination of a tissue which is removed from a living body in order to discover the presence or cause or extent of the disease. Means they'll take a small part of our body, small part of our tissue, and they'll be tested for the presence of the disease. If we see for the types of cancers, means the types can be based upon the type of the cells resembled by the tumor. The first one, carcinoma, sarcoma, lymphoma and leukemia, germ cell tumor and blastoma. Okay, if we see about the carcinoma, these are the cancers that are originated or derived from the epithelial cells. Means they occur when the DNA of the cell is damaged or altered and the cell begins to grow uncontrollably and they become malignant. Malignant means tumors, which are the cancerous cells. These group of cancers includes breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, pancreas and colon cancer. Okay, what is carcinoma means? Which is derived from the epithelial cells, where the DNA of these cells is damaged and it begins to grow uncontrollably. The second one is sarcoma. It is derived from the connective tissues like fat, nerves or bone or cartilage. It develops from those cells which is originated from the mesenchymal cells, means that is nothing but the outside the bone marrow. We can say that the mesenchymal cell is one of the type of connective tissues. As we all everyone know that group of cells together form a tissues, like mesenchymal cell is a part of the connective tissue. So other than these connective tissues, mesenchymal cells also causes the sarcoma type of cancer. If you see lymphoma and leukemia, these are the two classes of cancer where they are arising from the hematopoietic, means blood related to blood forming cells which leaves the bone marrow and gets matured in the lymph nodes and blood respectively. The first one, lymphoma, is from the lymph nodes and leukemia is related to the blood, means they are related to the blood forming cells. And the next one is germ cell tumor. These are derived from the pluripotent cells and they have capability to differentiate in any of the three germ layers, that is endoderm, mesoderm and ectoderm. It is we can call this as a cancerous or non-cancerous because it occurs inside the gonads, means that is nothing but ovary and testis, and they may be originate outside the gonads, maybe by birth defecting results from errors during the development of embryo. Means we can say these type of tumors as cancerous or non-cancerous because they can occur inside the gonads or outside the gonads. Outside the gonads means it's due to the default in the development of the embryo. This is about the germ cell tumor. If we see about the causes of cancer, there are some causes. which includes carcinogenic substances and some viruses, that is Rhovus sarcoma virus and EBV means Epstein-Barr virus. These few viruses can also lead to the cancer. And what are the carcinogenic substances leads to cancer means, the first one, tobacco. If you see tobacco, addiction of the tobacco can lead to the mouth cancer or lung cancer. Alcohol can lead to lung cancer and especially liver cancer, because alcohol is metabolized by liver, so it affects the liver and causes liver failure. And coal mines and pollution, they causes lung cancer. X-rays, when the people are exposed to the any X-rays, then they can get a skin cancer. Gamma rays, these gamma rays can cause cancers like stomach or colon cancers, etc., pancreatic cancers. Okay, these are about the carcinogenic substances which causes the cancer. If we see a difference between the normal cell and a cancer cell, we can identify that in normal cell the division of the cell is in controlled manner, means one cell will divide into two. In that each two cells, every cell will divide into only two cells. But in case of cancerous cells, the cell division is not in a proper manner. Means one cell can divide into two cells, and that each cell can divide into multiple cells. And by keep on division, it can increase the number of cells. In this, the contact inhibition is present, but in cancerous cells, the contact inhibition is lost. And the lifespan is fixed in normal cells. In normal cells, there is a particular lifespan, means it will die after a particular time and then new cells will be reborn. But in case of cancer cells, the death of the cells is not seen, and those cells and the present living cells will keep on multiplying and becomes a tumor. This is about the types and causes of the cancer. Okay, the next topic we are going to see is cell cycle. Cell cycle means it is a set of macromolecular events which are highly coordinated and ultimately that leads to the cell division. Means it is a process of cell division. In this, it consists of two steps. We are going to discuss about mitosis and meiosis. I think all of you know about these terms. If you see the significance of the cell cycle, first we need to know about the mitosis. In mitosis, the growth occurs, which is very necessary for the survival. And if you go for meiosis, it occurs in the germ cells so that they give rise to the next generation, means cell division. If you see the major steps, it includes here we can see interphase and mitosis. This is the major steps we are seeing in the cell cycle. While we are talking about the cell cycle, it actually occurs in 24 hours, means the whole cycle will occur in 24 hours, and each cycle is divided into subsequent hours, means these four types is divided into subsequent hours of that 24 hours. And if we go deep into the cell cycle, the first one is G1 phase, which occurs in the 11 hours, and in this phase we can see the protein and RNA synthesis takes place, and it is also known as post-mitotic phase because it occurs after the mitosis process. So this is about the G1 phase. And after this, if we go about the S phase, we'll call that as synthesis phase, which occurs at 8 hours and is very important because when the cell divides into two daughter cells, the DNA has to be present in the equal amounts in this cell, in this phase. If you see the G2 phase, which is we call that as a gap 2 phase, it occurs in 4 hours, and in this the protein and RNA synthesis occurs. And if you go for the last phase, which is mitotic phase, it lasts for 1 hour and it contains stages. What we see here is a prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. If we see in the prophase, in this the chromosomes condenses to form a very compact chromosomal material, and here we can see all the nuclear membranes, they disintegrate the ER means endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi complex, and after disintegrating all will disappear in the means all the organelles in the nuclear membrane will disappear, and that will then enters into the next stage of metaphase, in which the chromosome will align themselves in the equatorial plane and they will attach with the spindle through their kinetochore. And if you see the third one, which is anaphase, what happens means the chromosomes are connected in the centromere, and their two chromatids in centromere, the two chromatids are connected in the centromere, and the protein which is present in the centromere, after where the proteolysis occurs, the spindles which are formed in the second stage, these spindles will move to the opposite poles. Means there is a centromere in the center of the chromosomes. Each centromere consists of the two chromatids, and also along with this there is a protein which occurs a proteolysis process. After the proteolysis, the spindles will move to the opposite poles in the anaphase. And the next one is telophase, where the two daughter cells will form here, and the nuclear envelope, it will reappear the Golgi bodies and endoplasmic reticulum, and all will reappear. Means what are the organelles which are disappear in the prophase will reappear in the telophase. Means at the first stage of mitosis they will disappear, and at the last stage of mitosis they will reappear. So this is about the cell cycle in the normal cell. If we see about the normal healthy cell, if we want to know the difference between the normal cells and cancer cells, in the normal cells all the cells are programmed to die and can be replaced by the new one. But in case of cancer cells, they don't die, and the living cells they will divide and crowding out on the healthy cells. Means they'll form a group of the healthy cells, means they surround the healthy cells and spread often through the bloodstream and lymph system and upon to the next other organs. So this is about the normal cell versus cancer cells. Up to now we have completed the types of cancers, causes of cancer, cell cycle in the cells, cell cycle in the normal cell, and what is the difference between normal cell and cancer cells, means what's happening in the normal cell and cancer cell. So next we'll discuss about the apoptosis. I think we already know apoptosis. I'm not going to explain about this because previously we have discussed about that, and you can refer our previous class for definition. No need of full detailed explanation, only definition is enough. So refer previous class about the apoptosis. Then we can go for cell differentiation. So we can start about cell differentiation. In this we can see difference of the stem cells and how it turns into the differentiated cell, and the process of turning stem cells into the differentiated cell is known as cellular differentiation. If you see all cells in an organism have the same DNA, means every cell will contain the same DNA, but DNA will contain some genes. Means there are two terms we have to know, DNA and genes, and the DNA will be same in all cells, but the genes present in the DNA will differ. Based on the genes, the performance of the cell and means the function or shape or size, everything about the cell will be differ based on the genes. So here if you see, so all the cells in organisms having same DNA, but if you see why all these cells look differential and from each other, means all these cells will differ from each other. Means if RBC may look like round cells and other cells will look like circular or cone shape, or they may be vary based on their size or shape or function also. And why it is why they have certain look or certain shape means this is because what happens means inside of the DNA it is actually there are chopped cells known as genes, and these genes control the function and activity of the each cells which are present in the genes, and they can turned or turned off at any time. For example, if you see based on the turning on the activity, this affects the activity of the cell. If you see, if a gene for becoming a neuron it is turned on, that will become a neuron. Or if example, if that gene want to become a is becoming an epithelial, then it turned on to become an epithelial cell. So every specific gene will turn on to become that specific cells, and they have the specific role. So based on the differentiated cells, different cells, they can perform a specific role. So we need to know all these differentiated cells to have each of the different functions in our body. So the actual process of the cell means the conversion of or turning of the stem cells to the differentiated cells is known as cellular differentiation. The process by which the cells becomes specialized to perform a specific function means based on if a single cell based on mitosis we have already seen in the cell division, single cell will divide into two daughter cells, and based on the genes they are present, these two daughter cell will become the different will contain the will perform the different functions. This is about the cell differentiation. And differentiated cells have specific role in the body, and they can perform only that role. Means if you see, for example, this is by seeing this we can observe that we can say that this is an RBC cells which have specific shape, and based on their shape they are round, smooth and flexible. Because of this nature they allow them to move through the blood vessels. If they have if their shape means if it is having a lot of sharp spikes means then it is difficult for them and it gets struck out of the blood vessels. So because of their shape means they are round and smooth, flexible, those categories are performed by the genes. These are regulated by the genes present in that DNA. So because of the genes this function is regulated clearly, means performed well. And if you see, this is the neurons which have projections. We are seeing projections that stick out from the, and they allowed them to the communicate by connecting with each other. Means one neuron is connected with the other neuron. This is the major function is through communication. So based on their size or shape they do the particular roles. So the genes which are responsible for performing their role is important in the cellular differentiation. Based on the different types of cells they perform the different roles. This is about the cell differentiation. Okay, next topic is carcinogenesis and mechanism of the carcinogens. If we go for carcinogenesis definition means we can call that as oncogenesis or tumorigenesis. It is the formation of cancer where the normal cell is transformed into the cancer cell. In this the mechanism involves 4 phases for which the normal cell is being converted to the highly malignant cell which is nothing but the cancer cell. If we see here we can observe the conversion of normal cell to the cancerous cell. How this is not the mechanism of the carcinogenesis, this is only just how the normal cell is converting into the cancerous cell. Means first the normal cell, upon that normal cell is either single or multiple, upon exposure to the carcinogens means cancer causing agents, it leads to the changes in the genetic material, means it leads to abnormal alterations in the DNA, and upon activation of the tumor suppressor genes and activation of the proto-oncogenes to oncogenes, this causes to the cancerous cells. This is the basic mechanism of the normal cell conversion to the cancer cells. If we go depth, means if next one we'll see, this is the detailed explanation of the how cancer cell, normal cell is being converted to the cancer cell with the help of by carcinogens. First, I have already told there are 4 phases. The first phase is, you can see, phase of initiation, and the next one is phase of proliferation, third one phase of conversion, and phase of progression is the 4th phase. These are the 4 phases which involves in the conversion of normal cell to the cancer cell. If you go for the first stage, which we will call that as phase 1 or initiation phase, a single or multiple exposure to the carcinogen leads to the change in the genetic material of the normal cell. Means here the normal cell is, in the normal cell, due to the exposure to the carcinogens, the genetic activity is changed. Then the susceptibility of the cells is based upon the cell exposed and the type of the carcinogen. If means the control of the cell, means capability of cell is based on the exposed and type of the carcinogen. These changes takes place that variable from the alteration in the DNA structure and to the recombinant of the host and genomes of the viruses. This is the primary alteration in the genetic material. What is happening in the first stage after the conversion is initiated. So here we are calling that as initiated cell. So the first normal cell is converted to the initiated cell. So we are calling that as initiation phase. How it is initiated means, by after attacking of the carcinogen, the genetic material is function of the genetic material is abnormality, and based on the type of the carcinogens or genomes of the virus, whatever may be, there is an alteration in the DNA structure. The next we will call that as phase of proliferation, or we can call this as a promotion phase. Means this initiated cell is promoting to the next phase. In this, it is the ability of carcinogen to induce proliferation in the initiated tissues. Means these initiated cells will proliferate in this stage and they stimulate the tumor formation. Means in this phase, the initiated cell is proliferated and there is a chances of forming the tumors. This promotion does not take place in the normal cells. Only it happens in the initiated cells. Means that is what we call that as the cancer cells. So the next phase is conversion phase, which is called that as the 3rd phase. In this, we can see the conversion is a process by which a normal initiated precancerous cells becomes a completely cancerous cells. Up to here, we'll call that as a precancerous cells, where the normal cell is initiated. So it becomes a cancerous cells. The alterations in the genetic material of the proliferated cells permanently takes place, and there will be changes in the size, shape of the specific chromosomes, and they are indicating the particular based on the changes, it indicates the particular type of the cancer. So from this precancerous cells, in the phase of conversion, it converted into the cancerous cells. And what's happening the 4th stage means, we will call that as progression stage. After the cancer cells is formed, the cell is progressed. Means the once the cancer cell is begin, it keep on multiplicating. So the progression of the disease is increased. This phase is associated with the spread of the tumor cells from a primary lesion to the distant site called metastasis and causes mortality. This metastasis is an active process and has 3 steps. The first one is attachment, the next one is degradation, and third one is locomotion. In the attachment, the cancerous cells attaches to the extracellular matrix. Means before the spread of the tumor, the first formed cancer cell is attached to the extracellular matrix, and then it enters to the second stage, that is degradation. In this, the local degradation of the extracellular matrix takes place. Means normal extracellular matrix will degrade and enters the cancerous cells. And the third one is locomotion, means the cancerous cells locomote to the appropriate site, means that we'll call that as secondary site, through locally degraded matrix. Locomotion means normal cells are replaced by the cancerous cells, and the locomotion is reinforced by the tissue secreted by the chemotactic factors and mortality factors secreted by the tumor cells. And this accumulation of the tumor cells at the secondary site takes place by the repetition of the above process, means the locomotion of the cells from the primary cell site to the secondary site is happen in the progression phase, and where metastasis occurs, which is nothing but the spreading of the cancer is seen. This is about the mechanism of the carcinogenesis. So here, up to here, we completed about the types, causes, apoptosis, cell differentiation, and carcinogenesis and its mechanisms. And the last one is markers used in the diagnostics, that is nothing but the tumor markers. In this, usually synthesis molecules which are not found commonly in the normal cells, if present also, they are less compared to the tumor cells, means these tumor cells are not found in the normal cells. If present also, these molecules only found in the tumor cells. Those markers are called as tumor markers. The secretion or presence of these specific markers is measurable quantity, which is helpful for the diagnosis, detection and quantification of the tumors. Means the presence of these specific markers is useful for the diagnosis of the tumors. Those markers are known as tumor markers. They do not convert the normal cell to a tumor cell. These markers are only used for the diagnosis of the particular type of the cancer. They are not helpful for conversion of the normal cell to the tumor cell. If you see examples, that is alpha fetoprotein, which is useful for the hepatocellular carcinoma, diagnosis of the hepatocellular carcinoma, and chorionic gonadotropin, used to diagnose trophoblastic tumors, and carcinoembryonic antigen, used for colorectal carcinomas diagnosis, and ACTH is for small cell carcinomas of the lungs. This is about the markers used in the diagnosis. Means these are the few examples of the tumor markers. That's all about the topic of the cancer.